This is Wojciech Wickiewicz at 60 and Wickiewicz at 72. Most people think it's impossible to build this kind of physique at his age, but Wojciech, also known as Fit Old Boy, is literally turning back the sands of time. And he's even breaking records in his home country of Poland. So we're going to deconstruct everything about his routine that has allowed him to get so fit and so healthy this late in life. And here's the crazy part about his routine. He's not a vegan. He's not on TRT or steroids or peptides. He doesn't take a bunch of supplements. He doesn't do any crazy biohacks. And he doesn't even do soul-crushing workouts like you might think he does, which is what makes his approach so attainable for anyone. And I know this sounds too good to be true. And did I forget to mention that he even enjoys a glass of wine from time to time? Let's start with his mindset. I would venture to say that Wojciech has an extremely balanced approach. Wojciech focuses on regularity, sustainability, and most importantly, an emphasis on well-being. It's not just about looking good, but also about feeling good, physically, mentally, and emotionally. He believes that pushing yourself too hard can lead to injuries and fatigue. So he puts a huge focus on rest and recovery and preaches for moderation and sustainability. And an underlying philosophy that sort of envelops everything is keeping things simple. Simplicity is king. Wojciech believes that age is just a number in your mind and an attitude. You're truly only as old as you believe you are. Okay, next let's talk about his exercise routine. His philosophy when it comes to working out is number 1, consistency, number 2, diversity, and number 3, readiness for new challenges. So he believes that strength training 3 times a week is like the sweet spot, and that leaves room for tons of other activities outside of just training in the gym. When it comes to his actual weight training, he does a whole host of a bunch of stuff, including horizontal bar exercises like pull-ups, CrossFit, and functional training, body weight exercises, and a big emphasis on the core. When he's not lifting, he's doing tons of sports and aerobic-based activity. He believes that you should be playing sports or doing something active every day. This includes running, sprinting, and steeplechasing, which is something that I had to look up. It's actually when you jump over those blocks. It's like a track and field thing. In addition to swimming, dancing, acrobatics, basketball, and a bunch of other stuff. This guy seems like he's always doing something, and he's always doing something new. And he does that to challenge his brain and his body. I think he even performed on like the Polish Dancing for the Stars or something like that. Doing so many new activities and learning all these different skills is extremely good for keeping your brain young, because you have to develop new neurons to create those neural pathways to pick up and learn and develop that skill. So one of the best things that you can do for your brain health is challenge yourself physically in different domains with different skills. All right, let's talk about his nutrition and what he does for food. So when it comes to food, there's this big emphasis on what we mentioned earlier, which is simplicity. So he just eats whole food, real food, and he practices intermittent fasting with a 16/8 window, meaning he's only going to eat food in that 8-hour time period. And he's going to focus on having an early dinner. 2 other big ideas that guide his sort of eating philosophy is number 1, portion control. So making sure that he's just having the right sized amount of food on a normal sized plate. Number 2 is going to be mindful eating, which basically just means being present with your food, not looking at your phone, really focusing on enjoying and getting everything you can out of your nutrition. And there's a guy named Paul Chek who's like the godfather of holistic health, and he says to drink your food and chew your water, which basically means for every bite of food, you take about 20 to 25 chews. This allows for more enzymes to be produced in your mouth and your saliva to break down that food. So not only do you digest it better, but you also assimilate the nutrients more. So he'll usually start his day with eggs and vegetables, usually tomato and spinach and maybe some zucchini. Then he's going to have a protein-rich meal with some type of vegetables. He eats a lot of seafood, including squid, which is rich in zinc, iodine, and protein, which is good for the immune system, the thyroid, and building muscle. And eating these less common forms of fish is really great for nutrient density, which I talked about in this other video that I made about this guy named Dave Pesco, which I'll link up right up here and down in the description for you to go watch afterwards, about this 62-year-old who's aging backward. He has a big focus on what I call the nutrient dense and diversity diet, which is basically just getting lots of these sort of out there or strange or not super common foods, because they have these really special, unique nutrients that are really good for us. He also likes really common fatty fish like salmon that are really high in omegas. And occasionally he'll have some lean red meat, which is high in iron and protein. He also eats lots of fruit like strawberries and mangoes, which are high in vitamins and antioxidants. And he'll also have an assortment of different types of cheese, which are high in calcium, protein, and B vitamins. And then he'll have different types of nuts for getting those healthy fats in as well. As far as the complex carbs go, he'll opt for something like quinoa or sweet potatoes over rice. And something to note here is he's also a proponent of carb moderation. He believes that as you get older, it's important to slowly ratchet down your carb intake and then modulate that based on your level of activity. The reason why this is important is because too many insulin spikes over a long enough time horizon can cause lots of damage to the body. It can make you store more fat, and it can also mess with your energy throughout the day. Let's talk about sleep and recovery. Wojciech believes that this is an absolutely crucial part of being healthy, and he prioritizes rest, relaxation, and making sure that he's recovering from all the activity that he's doing. He does this by focusing on having a regular sleep and wake cycle. That means going to bed and waking up at the same time. And this is one of the most important things you can do to help regulate the circadian rhythm, which is going to aid in optimal hormone production, more consistent blood sugar, more energy, and deeper sleep. Then he makes sure to have that early dinner. The reason why this is so important is because if you can space your dinner 3 to 5 hours before the time it is that you go to sleep, then this allows this system in your brain called the lymphatic system to properly clear out. That's like the waste and sewage system in your brain. And when you practice this early dinner, that's when you can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to go. This also allows your core body temperature to come down after eating, your blood sugar to normalize, and gives your body enough time to actually digest that food you just ate. And something that can really impact your sleep is the quality of the air in your bedroom, which is not something that most people think about. But dust, mold, pollen, allergens, and VOCs, all these things, they negatively impact our sleep quality. And that's why the sponsor of this video is Jasper, an industrial grade, beautifully designed air scrubber for your home. Jasper ran a sleep study where the participants wore an Oura Ring and tracked their sleep for a few weeks without a Jasper in the bedroom and with a Jasper in the bedroom. With this Jasper air scrubber in the bedroom, on average, the participants slept 25 minutes more per night, increased their deep sleep by 18%, and had 5 minutes faster sleep latency, which means the time that it takes you to fall asleep. And believe it or not, indoor air quality is actually much worse than the outdoor air quality, and often is the reason why you might be experiencing brain fog, fatigue, confusion, low energy, lethargy, poor sleep, asthma, allergies, or just overall sluggishness. It's the air that we're breathing. And the thing I love most about the Jasper is most things in health require a lot of effort and behavior change and time. With the Jasper, you just plug it in, you turn it on, and you just get healthier. That's easy mode. And there's no Wi-Fi, there's no Bluetooth, and you can turn the screen off when it's time to go to bed, and it's just going to work for you, helping you breathe better, helping you sleep better, and just making you healthier overall. So if you want to improve your sleep, your recovery, and your well-being, then click the link down in the description. Go get yourself a Jasper, use the code, save yourself some money. Go check them out. We could not make this content without our sponsors, and I know you're going to love it. And something else that Wojciech also prioritizes is having a calm evening. No phone in the bedroom, a pitch dark environment, and some gentle relaxation activities in the evening, like stretching and breathing exercises. And he makes sure that he's asleep by midnight every night. And the thing I love about this that's worth highlighting is that it's not some crazy rigid thing. He just has these parameters that he kind of works within. And I think we can all be in bed by midnight. That doesn't seem like he's giving anything up, like it's that big of a sacrifice. I don't think that many good things happen after midnight anyway, especially in your 60s and 70s. But I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. The big thing to focus on with this sleep routine is the circadian rhythm, the early dinner, and having a relaxing evening routine. But what are the other lifestyle habits that Wojciech has that has allowed him to turn back the sands of time and give him this youthful vibrance and this incredible physique at such an older age? One thing he swears by: cold showers. Cold showers will increase your dopamine dramatically, boost circulation, and make you feel more alert and focused. And over time, they're going to build your resilience. It's going to drive your HRV, which is your heart rate variability, up as your nervous system starts to adapt. So this is great also for mindset and mental attitude of like doing something hard and staying calm in the midst of something quote unquote stressful. He says that the vigor and alertness that he gets from these cold showers is better than coffee, and I would tend to agree with him. Wojciech gets lots of sunlight and time outside, and he makes sure to get out every day that he can. I think this is one of the most underrated habits because, as I was talking about before, the indoor air quality is worse than the outdoor air quality. And most humans in Western civilization are spending, wait for it, up to 80 to 90% of their time indoors. I know, it sounds crazy, but it's true. And if we're not outside, we're not seeing the trees, we're not putting our feet in the grass, we're not getting enough sunlight, we're going to start to age pretty quickly, especially if we're breathing in sick air. Wojciech also has a huge emphasis on hydration. So he drinks a minimum of 3 liters of water every single day, and he's consistently and constantly sipping before the workout, during the workout, and after the workout to avoid fatigue, dizziness, cramps, etc. Wojciech also practices meditation, and this is something that I've talked a lot about. I practice meditation every day, and I re-picked up my habit after making that video about Dave Pascoe's routine, because essentially what I learned from this 62-year-old who's aging backwards is that he was quote-unquote living a healthy lifestyle, but he was stressed out, and he had accelerated his speed of aging as per the measurement of his telomeres. And the doctors told him, if you want to slow down your speed of aging, you need to de-stress. You need to learn how to relax. And so that's when he started adopting more relaxation-based activities like meditation and yoga and these types of things. And stress really is the silent killer that makes everything worse. After I made that video, I did a deep dive into the research on meditation, and here's what I found. Regular meditation of up to 20 to 30 minutes has been shown to improve mood, increase base levels of dopamine and serotonin, increase gray matter in your brain, shrink the amygdala, which is the part of your brain that's associated with fear, grow your prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain that's associated with focus and cognition, and fend off all neurodegenerative diseases. And that's just touching the surface. That's not even everything that I found. Can you believe that one simple activity could produce that many results? If the results of meditation could be bottled up and put into a pill, it would be the most successful drug of all time, and everyone would be prescribed it and everyone would take it daily. As you can tell, I get hyped about meditation. I think it's a big deal. But in addition to meditation, Wojciech also practices different breathing techniques, and he makes sure to have dedicated time in nature, whether that's on the beach or walking through the woods. It's not just about getting outside, but also really connecting with the earth. Next, let's talk about family. One of the biggest contributors to his health is his family. The reason why he started getting back into shape and focusing on his health is because his son challenged him to do a pull-up and really pushed him to get back into fitness. And so his son would eventually enlist him into training with him. And he often trains with his 64-year-old wife. So being healthy and fit and living well is a family affair. And this active lifestyle is a central pillar in the family unit. And there's that old adage, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And so by nature of being around his family a lot, he's doing a lot of healthy activities and working out, and it's just part of the culture. And I think one of the most impactful and powerful things that has allowed Wojciech to get so healthy and so fit at this stage of life is contribution. He started sharing his journey to inspire others. Even in retirement, he has made his life about serving others. He wants to prove to everyone out there that it doesn't matter how old you are or what your age is, you can still be fit and healthy. There is a spiritual energy that is given to you when you focus on impacting others. And this also gives him a reason for being and existing and to keep living. Lots of people get sick and die a few years after they retire because they've lost their purpose. And it's just like that quote from the Bible, "A man without vision shall perish." I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me about Wojciech is it seems like he's having the time of his life. He's trying lots of new things. He's always outside. He's incredibly active. And he's doing all of this with people he loves. I don't think it gets more wholesome than that. And it's really showing me that age really is just a mindset. So if you like this video, I know you're gonna like this one right here about the 55-year-old single mom who's aging backwards. Go watch that video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and be well.